Hello, everyone. Love seeing all of the chats and interactions. Hi, Wendy. I'm coming out of the depths of pat leave right now to present here because I'm super excited about this. We just had a baby on Valentine's Day, so we have a forever Valentine's now. But I made sure to carve out some time to chat with you guys about customer journey maps. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Thank you, everyone. This is totally sweet. Entire screen. I saw gift card chats in the chat. I missed that part when I joined. Unfortunately, I did not bring any gift cards, but I do have Venmo if anyone wants a coffee. But yeah, so let's get started because I know we're constrained on time, 30 minutes. So how to build customer journey maps and turn insights into strategies. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen a lot of my posts on LinkedIn that I've done, which has been amazing to kind of add value to the lifecycle community. And it's been great to see so many people's feedback on how they've leveraged it in their own work to kind of get an overarching view of maybe their own customer journeys at the company that they're working at, or even look at and audit other companies as well. So um, when Naomi approached me to chat about this and kind of my approach and our approach at the agency on how we built these, it was a no-brainer for me. So would love to share kind of how we think through it and how we think through it strategically for our clients, as well as our own inspiration internally, as well as actual customers. So switching slides here. So who the heck is this person presenting to you guys? Why am I qualified to talk to you guys about building customer journey maps? Um, so I am currently co-founder and managing partner at Verbose, which is an embedded lifecycle marketing agency that I started with my partner, Carlos Govantes. We work with clients across all types of industries and have seen so many types of lifecycle funnels and have seen kind of the industry grow from only email marketing all the way through, retention and acquisition-based marketing, which has been fantastic and a fun journey. And so in my past lives, I've worked with, companies across all different types of industries, from e-commerce. Zulily was my first job out of college, where I ran and helped run an email marketing program of 20 million users every single day. And email drove over about 50% of the attribution every single day because of daily flash sales. So learned a lot of there. Got sick and tired of Seattle, moved to New York with one suitcase, and joined Casper when it was less than 2 years old, kind of the D2C darling of that era. Joined a small sized startup in a WeWork sized closet called 30 Madison, which was one of the first kind of telehealth companies when I first started, and kind of grew to be a large company in this space. Then most recently was at Peloton, where I drove lifecycle strategy for a bunch of the core products like the bike and the tread and whatnot. So throughout my experience, like I mentioned before, lifecycle marketing wasn't called lifecycle marketing. It was initially called email marketing when there was only email marketing to leverage. But over time, as new business models have kind of been introduced, like subscription businesses, e-commerce, D2C, kind of the world of lifecycle kind of expanded across multiple facets. And we like to kind of break this up into two pieces. One we call the path to purchase, which is lead gen all the way through first time acquisition. And then the path to loyalty, which I'm sure we're all familiar with in terms of engaging with customers. What does the onboarding experience look like? What does the continued engagement with the customer look like? How are we adding value to them? I think is really important. All the way through churn and reactivation. This is what the linear journey looks like. When you're thinking about the strategy of it all, thinking and breaking it down into buckets, I found always super helpful when onboarding. And so, awareness, where are your customers coming in from? Is it paid ads? Is it SEO? Is it all types of sources of kind of lead gen and lead sources? What does the site experience look like? Exploration. How are they learning more about your products? What does the lead gen captures look like? What do your comps look like when they do sign up for email or SMS or all of these channels, to guide them through the nurture process? And then obviously post-purchase as well. Once someone makes a purchase, we have kind of a wealth of data on them. How do we leverage that to add more value to their experience? Which is something that I'm super keen on adding value for a lot of businesses, and have been working a lot on at my previous lives as well. And so, I think, when we look at it as lifecycle marketers, we know it's really hard to actually get this consolidated view of like what is going out right now. We get asked all these questions from our leadership team. What is going out post purchase? What happens when someone signs up for email? What did they get on day 30? And it's hard for us to kind of get a consolidated view of being like, okay, this is what's happening and this is what we need to do about it. And so what it ends up looking like, and I'm sure you guys can all kind of resonate with this, is these big journeys inside of our customer platforms, our marketing tools, where we have all this logic, all these nodes, but it's really hard to get a overarching view of everything. And it ends up looking like this, kind of branches, segmented, broken out by customers, post purchase, onboarding, all of this stuff. And it's really hard to kind of vocalize and verbalize and articulate this to leadership when it's all broken out like this. And what we end up doing is just sending them a link or getting them access to the tool, and they just have more questions coming out of it. And so what we end up looking like is this. And so, I think there's a lot that we have to own in terms of sources. And integrating all these channels and owning all these comps going out. And it's hard for us to kind of get a grip on what is that consolidated view. So in my previous lives, I built a framework of a customer journey map that enables us to really get a clear view of and representation of the entire customer lifecycle. Adding in all types of experiences, including CX, website, email, SMS marketing, push. What does the app, if there's an app, look like? What does that experience look like? Reactivation and churn. And so, the tool of choice that our agency uses at Verbose is Figma. We use FigJam, which is an amazing tool, super interactive. You can share it easily with leadership. You can share it easily with cross-functional team. And so I'm going to share this here, but this is the FigJam that I created for a audit I did for Pham and for Headspace when I was doing competitive analysis here. Yes, Naomi, FigJam is the best. Awareness and consideration, as you can see now, you can kind of outline the linear customer journey here. The awareness and consideration stages where you see the paid media sources, the organic sources, the reviews, exploration and evaluation, kind of understanding what the website experience looks like. Lead gen, where are all of the entry points, which I'm sure we get asked this all the time. What happens when they sign up for the blog? What happens when they sign up for the pop-up? What does the welcome series look like? And so, we built these flows in FigJam and just manually screenshotting all of the comms that we get and the kind of experiences that we get as actual customers. This is me actually spending 30 days using the Calm app, using the Headspace app in January for New Year, New Me, and kind of just documenting what I experienced as an actual customer. And so, started documenting all of this. When someone actually purchases, what does that actual customer journey look like? From downloading the app, from account management, from app experience. There's just so much that goes on in building a refined customer journey that we kind of lose track of all of this and understanding what is going out today, because we oftentimes optimize over optimize and start to lose track of what's actually happening. And so having a live and kind of breathing document that shows not only the lifecycle team, but the product team and the leadership team on what's going out today is super helpful, because it gives us an actual true experience of what customers are experiencing when they're using our product like this app. And so, here it encompasses all channels from push notifications, SMS. Calm actually did not have SMS marketing, so that was another call I had when auditing. And again, we'll go over this one in terms of auditing other competitors for inspiration. They have a really well thought out email program. I loved this on day one of Jan 1st. They did a 30-day email series every single day in batch comms, adding so much value for their customers and giving tips and tricks. As you know, there's probably a large seasonality bump for them at this time of point. And then reactivation here. So this is the tool that we use here. I'm going to go back to the presentation because I know we have 4 minutes left. But so how do we apply this for inspiration? And oftentimes what I'm doing when I'm posting on LinkedIn is actually just as a real customer auditing actual, services and products that I love myself and understanding their customer journey. What can we learn from them? What best practices can we adopt from them? How do they approach storytelling? How do they approach integrating lifecycle comms into their lifecycle journey from email, SMS, and push? And so here are a couple that I've done over time. Graza was one of my favorite ones. One thing that I found in my audit was that for their retention and churn flow, they actually enabled you, if you go to cancel, to actually gift a Graza bottle to your friend instead of canceling, which I thought was really cool because not only does it give a referral to your friend, but it also retains users longer because as we know, a user who retains with us has a stronger LTV than those who churn with us. And so, okay, Naomi, that's good to know. And so that was one that was great that I found with Graza, and obviously, as you can see, their emails are so beautiful, they're so fun, they're so bright, and the customer journey was really just a pleasure to be part of, and I love their product. I'm a huge amateur chef at home, so love the product and how it tastes there. Headspace and Calm, like I just showed, like I think one of the best things that I've learned from them is the ability to actually really customize the push notifications that they have. They enable you to really, and I can go back here, they really enable you to go in and set, the time that you want specific check-ins, mindfulness reminders at 9:15, bedtime reminders, mood check-in, gratitude, daily calm. Such great kind of functionality there when it comes to preference center for push, that I found such a great because, for me, I think, in order to really engage with an app, I really do need those reminders every day, and to be able to customize that to the times that work best for me is kind of the key to a really great customer journey. As you guys may know, usually our goal is the best message at the right time to the right customer. And so I found that having the user actually add this input was really, really great. So going back here, one thing that I did when I found for Aura Ring, which was really great, was that onboarding survey. I think one thing that we often hear from a lot of our leadership team is, how do we build a more personalized, customer journey? How do we build more personalization into our emails or SMS? And it may seem simple at first, but it actually is really, really difficult. Obviously, it takes a lot of foundational data work, infrastructure, a lot of strategy, a lot of things working with development to see kind of how does things render when you're pulling in dynamic content. And so one thing that I'm a huge proponent of is first party data, actually soliciting the data from users, and Aura did a great job at building an onboarding survey into their the customer journey onboarding process, where they asked so many questions that really gave you a good kind of idea of who the customer is, and then they were able to kind of build more personalized experiences based off of that, whether it was the push notifications or follow up kind of email comms that I got with them. And then another one that we did was with Gooder, and this one was just a very fun brand, giving Miami Vice vibes, to be part of. Such a fun brand, and really admire kind of the way that they built their emails as well, in terms of colors and cohesiveness. And so, yeah, these are exercises that we typically do with our internal team at the agency, just because it's so fun. We purchase products and we'll just kind of audit and monitor these flows for a while. Usually, I spend over the span of 30 days actually leveraging a product, actually auditing all of their flows and getting all of the comms in my inbox and on my phone, and documenting it manually. So these typically take me, of my own time, 10 to 15 hours a month, to really create these customer journey maps every time I do them and post them on LinkedIn. But we also do this as part of our onboarding process, and we built this framework in-house as well, with all of our clients to onboard, just because it's just a great way to really understand your new clients' kind of comms and strategy there, so that you can get a good idea of what's going to help. As you can see, like once you start to map it out, you start to identify kind of gaps and opportunities that there are. You might look at this and be like, oh, we're not sending anything 60 days post purchase. There's a huge gap in comms. They're only really getting kind of our batch program. Is there any targeted ways that we can send them a message that might drive incrementality, or even just make the customer experience a little bit stronger? And so we found these super helpful in identifying those and really doing our quarterly strategic planning with our clients. and understanding kind of what are the gaps and opportunities for incrementality are. So in conclusion, I think what's great about customer journey maps is that, again, it enables us to really identify and visualize customer journeys end to end, from lead generation all the way to reactivation and churn. It enables us to really identify the gaps and opportunities across acquisition or retention. Oftentimes, we're balancing between both. One quarter, your leadership might goal you on lead generation, or even lead acquisition, first time purchases. And another quarter, you might be tasked with subscription churn and first period retention. And so, having a good grip on the entire customer experience and how cohesive it is oftentimes can lead to better to acquisition and retention, right? If you just have a stronger customer experience, people will retain with you, people will engage with your brand, and it becomes a lot stronger. And so, I think it enables you to kind of get a good grip and also do a lot more strategy around it, and build those insights. And so, I do encourage everyone to start doing this on their own and kind of seeing if they can identify these gaps and opportunities by taking kind of their comms and their lifecycle program and putting it on paper. Um, Unpacked exclusive, let's go. So oftentimes I try to close these Figmas off so that we're not having to pay for people Figma access within our agency. But I did create a copy and pastable version of the customer journey map here, that the most recent one I did, the Calm and Headspace one. And so I'm just gonna paste the link in here for everyone. Again, this is an exclusive, last chance before it goes. And so pasting it in there, but yes, yeah. So I'll just paste that in there. Yes, I see people in there. Amazing. Again, FigJam is incredible. You guys can, oh my gosh, look at all those people. And so you guys can copy and paste this into your own Figma boards now. I made it editable where you guys can just take that and kind of paste it into your own instance. It might be best if you guys do it within FigJam if you have it. If you paste into a Figma, like an actual canvas Figma, it might break it, but let's see. But yeah, wanted to share this with you guys, just because I think it's so valuable and I've seen so much great feedback about it. And oh my gosh, it looks like goldfish in a fish tank. And I think it's super helpful in your work. So more than happy to share it with you guys here. What are we doing on time? So 10 minutes left, Naomi. I'm not sure if you guys want to hop into questions, but that was kind of the presentation and the whole spiel here. I'll stop sharing.
We have so many questions,
Oh my
which
gosh,
is really
I love
good.
it.
So I'm gonna start I'm gonna
What
start
was the
teeing you up for some. All
consensus? Oh my gosh, I'm looking through all the comments now.
right. So yeah, this was such a fun. I loved seeing that Fig Jam board or Figma board with all of like the little
Yeah.
icons of people. That's so fun. Okay, so this question here from Riley has the most upvotes. What's your process for keeping things up to date? I find I spend a lot of time mapping flows, but not a lot of time maintaining them. And Riley, this you're giving me PTSD because I feel like as soon as I map out all my flows, something changes, and then someone's like, "Why is this not updated?"
Yeah,
So
I
would love to
know.
hear.
Unfortunately, I don't have a really strong answer here because it doing these maps are so manual, and so when you do it, you really just get a snapshot of time. And obviously, as lifecycle marketers, we know that we're constantly A/B testing and over optimizing to infinity and beyond, and it's really hard to keep track. But I think for me, what I like to kind of say to my teams is just be diligent and be on top of it. Again, this should be a live, breathing document where leadership should be able to go in at any time and be able to see kind of what's live. And so I would just say, as you are making tests and as you are rolling out 100% to your control variants or your test variants that win, to update this. But ideally, there would be a tool where we just connect customer IO to an API to this tool, and it automatically updates the creative. But fortunately, we're not there yet. But maybe one day. So to answer your question, but not to answer your question, is quite manual, and I totally understand that. But I would just say just to be diligent and maybe do it quarterly when you're planning your quarterly strategic planning sessions with your team, just to make sure that you're looking at kind of the most live to date.
Yeah, spot on. All right, and now we have a question from Emily. What's your recommendation for audit if the user journey is gated? For example, you need to enter some sort of identifier to sign up slash enter the user journey, which I think is what you have to do kind of anyways
Yeah.
for the Headspace and Calm audit that you did, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, these brands aren't giving me a coupon or a promo code to purchase these things. So I actually spent like $500 of my own money to do the Aura Ring customer journey audit because one, I was just interested in getting one, but obviously, not many people are fortunate to be able to do that. And so that's why I love to post these on LinkedIn just so I can share that with everyone and so that they don't have to spend their own money to do it. Um, but oftentimes, if you are signing up with your lead gen, like your pop ups and stuff like that, you should be able to get immediate customer journeys in terms of like their lead to purchase and their path to purchase experience. But oftentimes, I would just kind of see if there's any way that you can find a free trial. Like for Calm and Headspace, I was able to do all of this mostly on the 7-day free trial without even have to pay a
Mm.
dime. Obviously, I went on to actually pay to be a full subscriber so that I can audit the churn and kind of the reactivation flow as well. But there are a lot of apps out there and a lot of products out there that you can just do a free trial to audit. Even SaaS businesses. One thing that I'm keen on doing is maybe an audit on a SaaS B2B business, which I haven't done yet. And so I'm curious to do that because it does involve maybe talking to like a customer rep and things like that. But yeah, I would say, try to look for kind of the ones where you can just do low hanging fruit, are easy barriers to entry, like streaming services are a really fun one, where you have a free trial and things like that as well. But for the paid ones,
You,
guys, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say you actually inspired me when I saw your Aura Ring breakdown on Figma many, many months ago. I was like, this is my sign. And I bought
Yeah,
one.
you got
And
one.
now I've
Yes,
got another one.
correct.
So I was already thinking about it, but it was like when I went and looked at your breakdown, it convinced me.
That's
I've
amazing.
fallen to consumer
Yeah,
tactics.
it's
So
actually incredible because oftentimes I see who requests access to these Figmas, and I actually know when they catch fire internally at that brand. So like I would see a bunch of requests coming from Aura Ring
mm,
employees, and I'd be like, yes, they're using it, and that's like the
yeah,
best
I've made
part.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand. All right, the next question here we've got, how do you go about collecting all the assets for such an audit and creating the FigJam report? So do you download the HTML or EML file and then convert it to a screenshot? What's your process?
Yeah, like I mentioned, it's quite manual. So oftentimes I'm using a lot of my screenshotting tools, like the native one on the Mac, or I'm using for email specifically Full Page, which is a Chrome extension where it basically just takes a screenshot of your entire page and I crop it and edited it. So it's quite manual. And then, as you guys, I think, have mentioned in the comments, mill.com is a great one that timestamps all of the comms in the last, 30, 60 days. And you're able to kind of see, on a day-to-day basis, how they send out their emails. For me, I do a lot of just screenshotting in my inbox. But if I'm not getting the full picture, I'm going to mill.com. I'm going to really good emails to really get those screenshots. I think the issue and the hard part is when you go to something like those sites, having that timestamp is important because you're not able to delineate between a batch com, a one-time send, and a welcome series or a post-purchase series. You have to really be a customer to really understand. I just made a purchase, so therefore I was just triggered this post-purchase com and onboarding flow. And so that's the difference, is that I'm actually kind of just assuming and guessing what these comms are based off of my own experience. But when you go to these other sites, it's actually really hard to kind of identify those types of comms.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm going to mark this one as done. Okay, you've got a question here from Abby. Would love to hear any recommendations you have for more complex B2B SaaS journeys. So you kind of touched on it that you want to do more audits of B2B
Yeah.
SaaS, but anything specific that you can touch on here?
Yeah. So, and Kate, it's mill.com, by the way. Mill. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Megan. Um, no, don't cancel your Snagit. I don't want to be the purpose of churn right now for Snagit. Um, but yeah, so I haven't done a actual like personal audit of a B2B, but obviously I go through these all the time for our clients as we explore vendors and we do RFP processes for all of these tools. And as a business owner, I have onboarded so many tools as well, from taxes and accounting and kind of all these types of tools. And so that's on my list to do. But it's so interesting because there's such a sales process in these. Like there's sales reps involved,
Mm-hmm.
where it's very personalized, one-to-one touch point, and you're having calls with people, and so it's a hard
Mm-hmm.
one to document. But stay tuned. I might be doing one right now with a specific vendor, and so hopefully I can do that audit and share with you guys sometime soon and kind of identify the gaps and opportunities. But we do a lot of B2B2C, which is like companies that sell to businesses as well as direct to consumer, and they're completely different experiences and kind of the way that you approach them.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Sounds like your paternity leave is going to be quite busy. Audits and
Yeah.
audits and audits. Okay, I think we have time for a couple more questions here. This one from Courtney. What is your recommended best practice for documenting personalization? We have lots of dynamic content, onboarding routes that feels challenging to document and keep up to date. Courtney, again, speaking to right to me. I completely
Yeah,
understand.
I think a good one, because I think what these types of customer journey maps do is a snapshot of one, obviously, user journey. And it really isn't comprehensive of a lot of the dynamic content that you'll get based off of a population of users. And so I would say one thing here is that you can really digest and like break down. If I share my screen again, uh, this customer journey map here, if you maybe take an email, and maybe I'll do one, in my next one where I can show you guys a breakdown. But let's say like this module here is personalized, and I've gotten multiple variations of it. I would just maybe dissect and double click into this section here, and maybe give more examples within this document on noting that it's personalized and dynamic, and there's a couple variations that you can do it. Just because, again, like with something like a Calm or Headspace, they do ask a lot of personalization questions, and you are receiving a very dynamic and personalized experience, but it's really hard to capture that as a static image. And so I would say if you guys wanted to do that, I would just double click on it and maybe create another map with all of the variations that could be possible. Because I know there's probably a lot of people that might be, asking kind of how these things are personalized. Um, and also, it enables us to track if personalization is even a good thing. Like, are we even seeing strong performance from personalization and dynamic content? Are we seeing incrementality from it as well?
I think this question here from Caitlin is kind of related to the screenshot that you were just showing, but what's the best way to incorporate segmentation? It looked like in that Figma file, you do have some segmentation maybe mapped out in a way.
Yeah, so I think in here, I do it based off of like a purchase, or if they download it, and an onboarding flow and breaking this out. Again, I don't have access to their tools when I'm doing these audits, but for the ones that we actually do have the access to, like our clients, we actually break down the actual segmentation and eventing logic, the attribution logic of each breakout. And so if someone is pivoting to onboarding, we'll say has made a purchase, has not made more than one purchase, things like that, within some of these kind of filtering, things here where you can just break it out and just say, downloads the app, has made a purchase, and things like that, to break out like the actual true like segmentation that's happening and targeted inside of your customer platform, like Customer IO or whatnot. And you can get pretty robust.
Well, that's it for questions. Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt.
No, you're all good.
We are at time,
Yay.
and I want to thank you for coming in off of paternity leave to deliver this presentation. I am just like so in awe of your work and how you audit some of these businesses and brands. And at
Thank
least for
you.
me, whenever I see your breakdowns, I feel so completely inspired to like relook at my own marketing strategy. So hopefully others in the audience are feeling the same. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. And we can't wait to see what B2B
Aw,
SaaS audit is coming
yeah.
up next.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna go through these comments as I sleuth in the conference, but thank you so much. It was a blast.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your day.